So for this final video, I'm just going to walk you through the sample paper. You have a hard copy in your folder, but you can also find one linked on the blog I shared with you. So I'm going to this will be a little bit of a longer video because I'm going to take my time walking through the different elements. So this would be similar to what I would do in person if I was helping you one-on-one. So I just want to take my time and explain every element. So let's talk about formatting. You'll want to double space all your papers in MLA formatting. To do that, just right off the bat, just click up here on the top right, click double. You can do this at the end too, no big deal. You also, for MLA papers, in the header, you're going to want to put last name, space, page number. Now I want to show you how to do that real quick. So what people often do is they double click and then type it in the header. If they do that though, I'll show you. Then if I go to the second page, it's the exact same one because you've said the header is the same for every paper. So you don't want to do that. Instead, you're going to go up here to insert, click header page number, top right, and then you'll have the number 1, and now you'll see it's 2 down here. So now all you have to do is click to the left, type your last name, space, and you're good. So that's how you insert your header and your last name, page number. This right here, name, your class period, class you're in, and we'll just say summer analysis essay. Then you'll notice, and this is another mistake I see students making, the title goes right here. A lot of times students will do things like this, or I've had people do like this. It's the exact same font as everything else. The only difference is it's centered. Now your title should also be connected to whatever theme your paper's arguing. It can be a little bit tricky or a little bit of a play on words. Don't worry about your title until you get done with your paper, including ending with your theme. So you can, for instance, like just leave this blank until finished. That's my one reminder with the title. Don't worry about it. Another thing we often worry about too much is our first line. Now, my question I began with, do our situations define us or do we define ourselves? This is connected to the theme of the paper, or the theme of the novel that I am arguing in this sample paper. This right here is not really that important to worry about until I've finished writing the paper. That really goes for the whole introduction paragraph, which is just a preview of the paper. What I need to do is this. I've introduced the title, and I've also introduced the author's name. So, in A Gentleman in Moscow, in the novel by Amor Tolls, Count Alexander Rostov is faced with a challenge. He has been placed in house arrest in an elegant hotel in Moscow and has lost many of the freedoms and powers he had become accustomed to. That is the briefest of summaries I can give for a long novel, much longer than the one that you guys are reading for this summer. Don't make your summary too long. It can be like 1 to 2 sentences, and then here's my claim. Over the course of the novel, Rostov struggles with his individual plight. Plight means struggle, so his struggle of being in house arrest. However, he finds salvation in companionship with those around him. So this is the claim of the paper or the thesis statement. I'm going to put it in gold. So that means the body paragraphs of this paper are showing me this. They should all connect back to this claim. So I'm not going to read through the whole paper, but you'll note that each of these body paragraphs talks about how this main character, Rostov, develops. And you can work through. You can see I've used transition words, for instance, here. I've also used one. Let's find another one. Up here. Got that. Continuing. Here's another one. Sorry, a little bit of a brain freeze. So you want to guide through your paper with each body paragraph showing how your characters developed. What you're also going to pay attention to is how each body paragraph has textual evidence in it. So I've got this right here. I've got this right here. I've got this right here. Got this right here. And this right here. So this, if you do a count, sorry, one last one. I have 6 different pieces of textual evidence in the entire paper. That's a good number to shoot for. Now, you could have maybe more body paragraphs with fewer textual evidence in each one, but you'll note you'll need to have textual evidence directly from the book, and every time I used one, I said the author's last name and the page number where I got it. I'm going to put up videos in August that say how to introduce textual evidence in different ways. For instance, this one uses a colon, which is an independent clause that introduces the evidence that comes after. This is a signal phrase. He thinks to himself, comma. This one right here uses dashes. I won't cover this until later in the year in our class. This one goes with colon, colon, and then we go back to just weaving it into the text, the sentence. So then I get to so those 3 body paragraphs, they're telling me how Rostov has developed over the course of the paper. Then I get to the conclusion. So let's look at the first sentence is very much like your claim sentence. Rostov's development over the course of the book is a perseverance through loss that leads to a powerful sense of peace, so empowering that it allows him to escape the metropole. So this right here is very similar to that claim statement I made right here. Then I'm going to connect to theme. I need to say what the theme is. And this sentence right here is the theme. I've said what the theme is. A place cannot define you if you refuse to let it. And then I explain, connecting back to the novel, how Rostov's development impacted this theme. And remember the title. From here, a place cannot define you if you refuse to let it. That helped me not only come up with my title, it came up with my opening question and the sentence afterwards that kind of expanded on it. So I've got 5 paragraphs as a whole, plus I've got this little stylistic add-on. You could have put this like this, and that would have been fine as well. We're going to talk this year about how to break away from the 5-paragraph structure. This first essay, I'm okay if you want to play it a little bit more safely, but we'll talk about some more creative ways to write. In general, this essay is a pretty straightforward essay where you're telling me how a character develops and what theme it connects to. Though if you have questions, feel free to consult the other videos, the resources you have, and also remember you can email me. I do want to remind you to be careful with plagiarism, just like I said in the other videos. So please, if you have any questions of what plagiarism entails, make sure that you email me to ask if it's plagiarism, and I'll let you know. Then if you don't want to print it out, just type it on Google Docs, click share, and type in my email right here, which is mluther@winschools.org, and make sure I have editing access right here, and just send it. That is totally fine. That's also a great way if you have questions, you want me to look it over before it's due, feel free to send it in early and ask me questions you have about it. That being the case, I hope you have a great rest of your summer, and I'm looking forward to reading your essays.